Step into the kingdom of Abalium and begin your family's first great Dungeons & Dragons adventure. Become great heroes, explore forgotten ruins, uncover ancient mysteries, meet strange and lovable creatures, and battle fearsome monsters. Secrets of Enderil is a learn-as-you-go RPG created for parents, kids, and curious first-time players who want to create a shared storytelling experience. The adventure unfolds naturally as you play, with only a few pages of reading to get you started. Even new players and game masters can easily focus on roleplay, curiosity, and exploration, instead of getting lost in endless rules. We'll introduce you to core game mechanics organically through the adventure itself, so you never lose your immersion in the story. Your players will take on exciting challenges and learn about making meaningful choices with real stakes. We've carefully balanced this with a fail-forward style of play that rewards creativity instead of punishing mistakes or unlucky rolls. And by the time your first adventure comes to an end, it feels like the beginning of many more stories still waiting to be told. Together. Gather your party. Your story starts now. The Adventure Guide. Secrets of Enderil.
Hark the bardic paladin, who sings and plays again. He tells the tales of glory and weaves a magic story. He'll join you at your table and ask you to share a fable. Heroes of humble origin, villains who must be fought again. No matter their skill or prowess, the people in life are countless. So we pray you heed our request. Enjoy this tale of sidekicks and side quests.
Episode 165. Bernard the Tree Troll Knocker Upper. Welcome to Sidekicks and Side Quests, the Dungeons & Dragons podcast that helps to put humans back into humanity and breathe life into your campaign NPCs with backstory and bravado. That's right, we're building a world, one character at a time. I am your host, Kurt Krenwelge, the Bardic Paladin, and I'll be joining Allison and Raenelle's table in the Levitating Platter. Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Sidekicks and Side Quests, the best unofficial Dungeons & Dragons podcast in my humbly biased opinion. I've got an awesome pair of guests for you this special episode, but before we get to it, you know I gotta do it. I gotta leave you in suspense with the ad read. This podcast is brought to you by Plus One EXP and their brand new RPG Zine Club. It's a golden age of indie and small press RPGs. For the last several years, Plus One has made it our mission to help new indie creators and small press imprints get their products onto tables worldwide. Our highest goal is to create more sustainable and equitable pathways to getting games made and played. Now we want to take on our most ambitious project yet with RPG Zine Club. What is RPG Zine Club? It is a monthly membership subscription service featuring fresh zines from emerging and expanding creators across the globe. It's our way of inviting GMs, players, and zine lovers everywhere to invest more intentionally in the creative community. It's crowdsourced support without crowdfunding. Now, what are some of the features you have to look forward to when you join the RPG Zine Club? Well, you've got monthly releases with 2 20 to 44 page saddle stitch zines. Take your pick from story zines, adventure zines, or get both kinds. You can get print and digital or digital only of your favorite titles. Join the Clubhouse Discord. It's a section of our online community for club members to discuss and play new titles. Get the best prices guaranteed. You can select your frequency of how often you'd like titles, and you can get what you want and only get what you want. If you miss a month, there's no worries there. You can add recent titles to your month's order and get an annual surprise each February after your first anniversary. Get access to special content, including interviews, how to play videos, and special content for Zine Club titles. Do you like free pizza? Fill out one of the RPG Zine Club passports and redeem it for free pizza at events. You're going to get to encounter new and known designers. We source the best voices from across the RPG design community. We curate zines based on community interest and feedback to help you discover your new favorite creators. We are DIE focused. Plus One is committed to champion diversity, inclusion, and equity in our projects. Creators with diverse experiences make our community better. Zine Club prioritizes creating equity for all of our creators. And it's more than a purchase. Your subscriptions will let us invest more heavily in our print partners and provide them with potentially life-changing support by consolidating scores or hundreds of purchases as the club grows. So, if you want more details, please be sure to go to the website rpgzine.club. And this all can be found also by going to the website plus1exp.com. On that website, if you're making a purchase for a beard balm, a lip balm, beard RPG, or whatnot, and you're looking for a code to use at checkout, be sure to use the code Randolph, RANDOLPH, and save some coin on your purchase. Again, the website to get the discounts from me and provide a kickback to me to help support the podcast would be plus1exp.com with code Randolph. And be sure to go and check out the brand new rpgzine.club. All right. And without further ado, we're back here in the saddle, as it were, with it's a combination of like a returning guest and a new guest. So without further ado, I turn the microphone over and I ask, hello, Mr. Contestants, would you care to introduce yourself? Tell us who it is that you are and what is it you do?
Hello. Well, I'm the returning guest, so I guess I will go first. My name is Allison, and I am one of the adults that is part of the Kids Table DND. Very excited to be coming back.
And hi, my name is Raenelle, and I am one of the other adults who's been with the Kids Table D&D now for 4+ years. So very excited to be here.
Yes, indeed. It's great to have the kids' table back because I know it's an episode that I will occasionally find myself going back to and listening. And, you know, it's Allison and Brian as the guests explaining kind of the show's premise and such, you know, from the adults behind the screen, behind the table sort of perspective. But now with Raynell here, now it's like, oh, now we've got the inside scoop of what it's like to be at the kids' table itself.
Yeah, you've got the real deal here now.
Yeah, and it's been quite a journey. I would just say being not only a player learning for the first time, but then doing it with my child and now with both kids. It's been
Yes.
an amazing journey.
Yes, not to spoil anything for those who haven't caught up on the latest season. But yeah, it seems like we had some mischievous stowaways and some even younger players show up at the table.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, well, that's also a new fun dynamic as well, because now you've got the older kids who now get to be the mentors, I guess, for the younger kids. So, as the parents at the table, respectively, how have you feel like that's changed? You know, the older kids now at the table.
I think what we're actually experiencing is also kind of how to honor the older children and the younger children's experience at the same time. And that's a new dynamic for us because, as much as we're hoping there is mentorship, there's still that sibling rivalry
Hmm.
that is happening. So, this is quite of an experiment for all of us, I think. I mean, as Allison has sibling children, and Ryan and myself. And so it's kind of one day at a time where creating moments where the older siblings can guide, or creating scenarios where they're stepping up to the plate in a way of being the older sibling and saying, hey, we've been around a little bit longer, so let us show you the ropes, but also not making it feel like, oh, well, now I have to take care of my younger sibling character even in this D&D realm. I'm already having to do it in real life. So it's kind of finding the balance between all those things where they're still getting to flex, but it's not so close to home that they're just like frustrated with the whole game altogether.
Mm. Yeah, and I think in the latest episode I listened to, you were explaining of like, I'm literally the game mom. Like I'm the mom in this situation for all these kids that are running around in this adventure. And so it's like, oh, is there any break in the reality of like, oh, I'm a mom to all these kids in real life, but now I have to be a mom to all these kids in the game too.
Well, and I think the balance, Allison, I'm sure you find this to be true too, is that there has to be, to honor the collaborative storytelling and that it's a story, you have to find a way to separate yourself from real life mom and game mom. And finding and leaning into this idea of we're all here to flex something different, something inside us, something that we haven't tried on before. And so even modeling that, as well as being mindful that like they're still learning how to lean into that fantasy side and guiding them in a way that says, okay, this feels like you're like, that's Samuel, but you also, that's also Camden to you. And so like kind of guiding the play in a way of being a partner to Ryan as a DM to just lean into like, yeah, but you're also this character. And so what would this character do separate from your actual sibling relationship?
Yeah, it's definitely challenging the older kids to step up into a little bit of a different role with their siblings. But from my outsider perspective, I'm no longer on the show now that my family moved to the East Coast, except for like once a year I get to fly out to visit. But for the most part, I'm not on the main campaign. But I have just been dying, like watching the footage. I cannot stop laughing at the sibling interactions. And like for brevity's sake, we have to cut a lot of it out. But there's so many great like eye rolls or just like Chloe's expressions when Camden is like doing his little silly thing. Oh my gosh, I love watching now like the rough edits before it gets to the final episode.
Yeah, that's great. Getting to have it truly be like a family experience. We get to, maybe in all the other actual plays that are out there, it's like, oh, maybe you get to see families play or like found families, like when these groups of, nerdy voice actors or such will get together. But it's like, I don't know. I don't know if I've come across any productions out there that are really taking on this challenge of how can we show that this is a collaborative storytelling game and hobby for parents and children, but then families overall when even younger children get brought into the mix with kids who feel like, oh yeah, I know this game, I know how it all works, and suddenly they're having to look in the mirror, as it were, to be like, oh, you don't know anything about this, I have to help you in some way, but also still have the fun and still have the play as well.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting that the little brothers are 6 now, which to the 10-year-old big siblings feel like just a baby, right?
Mhm.
But they were 6 when we started filming the kids table. So it's interesting to like point that out to them and be like, remember what that was like for you when you didn't understand the rules, you didn't understand what to do with your character. And at the time, Alice, the teen player in the first season, and Raenelle and myself would like kind of guide them through and give a lot more help than we have to give to the 10-year-olds now.
Mhm.
And now, like having to kind of go back to that place where we're like bringing in these fresh new adventurers is an interesting full circle moment and a big challenge for the 10-year-olds to step up. And Dylan too, I'm sure. You could see that he already got annoyed. Just had his character fully like peace out from the group. So I'm interested to see how his character arc progresses too.
Well, perfect. Yeah. I mean, obviously, we could spend forever and ever gabbing about the kids' table and all that, but I'd be doing a disservice. The Kids Table D&D network also has been doing their Area of Effect podcast as well, doing a great and fantastic job. I know I was featured as a guest to talk about NPCs. So, we certainly want to be able to plug that and keep the ball rolling as well for this podcast. And so I know Allison, is familiar with this format. So for her, it's kind of like a re-examining of the questions since the last time we spoke. And for Raenelle, this is the first time. So, the first one of these questions is, an obvious one, but, currently, and how long have you been playing Dungeons and Dragons? Like Raenelle, it sounds like you've only been playing for as long as the podcast has been going on. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I did not grow up with it at all. So full disclosure, just the way I was raised, in the environment I was in, it was really taboo for me to do this as a kid or as a young person. And so doing it as an adult, like I've mentioned, has been really this amazing opportunity to lean into my own creativity as well as have this deeper connection with my children. And I'm really thankful for them to have the space to do that.
And then I know for Allison, not so that it has to be an experience of like, oh, I'm just repeating the same answers that I gave last time. But since the last time we spoke, have you had any of opportunities yourself to play, D&D or any other kinds of TTRPGs? I know you've been more in charge of like whenever you have a special promotional deal, like when, someone is asking for your support for like a new setting. The one that comes to mind is the Miyazaki one that you did. You kind of take
Obafima.
on those more initiatives for you guys.
Yeah, we kind of have Ryan and I call it like the East Coast cast and the West Coast cast now. So
Mm,
the East Coast is my daughters and our friends, basically,
okay.
our nerdy friends. And so we kind of film all the non-main campaign things just to give Ryan a little bit of a break. So yeah, you're right. When we have kids TTRPG companies out there who want us to film either like a full playthrough so that people can see what the game is like and kind of experience the full vibe. Or a lot of times we have people who just want us to make like a quick little ad. So then just myself and my daughters oftentimes will just play through that. And those are the only times when my 6-year-old have been on the show, is in those short ads where we're not showing the whole gameplay, because she loves to hear herself talk. So it would take twice as long if she was in a main campaign. She's going to be a fantastic DM someday. But so she's always in the ones where we have like B-roll footage of us playing the game in the background kind of thing, which is fun. So it's definitely a family affair.
Yeah. And again, y'all have been able to play some cool games, whether it's East Coast or West Coast. So it's so D&D is still happening, which is good. And then yeah, with this podcast, of course, being called Sidekicks and Side Quests, we like to ask, for new and returning guests, whether it's someone you've always had an affinity for or an appreciation for. But for the first one of these, who happens to be your favorite sidekick or NPC character, whether they're from a RPG, video game, movie, film, television, literature, etc. And why has this person stuck with you? Why have they captured your imagination in recent days? Why is this character your favorite?
I was looking over the questions, and immediately what came to mind, honestly, was Yoshi. Because
Oh, okay.
as a child, well, and maybe because I also saw the most recent Super Mario movie, but I just realized that as a child growing up in the 80s, 90s, that it's like having a familiar, right? This animal companion. And that,
Mhm.
because all the things that came to mind were Yoshi, Battle Cat from He-Man, Swiftwind from She-Ra. There's something about, for me, that connection with an animal. And I was thinking, maybe there's this idea that nature and the ability to connect deeply from one species to another, along with that aspect of like fierce loyalty at a primal level, is interesting as an adult to think about that. But I just think about all the shows and books where I've been really very upset when the animal companion dies. And the
Mm.
thing that came to mind is, both in the book and in the show, I could not handle when the dire wolves in Game of Thrones were trapped and like when they were
Yeah.
gonna be taken out. I was really, really upset. And so there's something about any time an animal companion, like I can't watch Old Yeller ever again. Right? There's something about that kind of pure connection between the human and their animal companion that I just gravitate towards.
I don't remember what my answer was to this the first time around. I think it's been 2 years. So maybe this is a repeat or maybe not. But I can't remember exactly when it came out. Maybe it was before 2 years ago, or maybe it was after. But I'm a huge Star Wars fan. My absolute favorite Star Wars character of all time was a sidekick, but now is kind of more a main character, Ahsoka Tano.
Mhm.
She was the Padawan of Anakin and was kind of more of a side character in a lot of the novels. And then she like shows up in the Clone Wars animated TV show and stuff like that. But then now like they brought her back in Rebels, and now she has her own show. So I don't think she counts as a sidekick anymore, but I loved her from the beginning. So I will sort of still claim her as a sidekick. But if I have to pick someone else, we just finished watching with our daughters through all of the Rebels series. This was their first exposure to Star Wars. And at the end, we were kind of all talking about our favorite characters. And it made me realize that I really love the character Hera Syndulla. And just knowing like her connection to her father, who is like famous, but then kind of being separated from her family and going through like a lot of tragedies and so many things that she goes through, and yet like stays the course with her beliefs and, you know, taking big risks that are personal risks for the sake of the cause. And there's just like so much about her character that I admire.
Very cool. Yeah, and you did say Ahsoka Tano last time.
Did
So
I?
that was I mean, it's consistency, so that's good.
It's
Yeah,
been
we like that.
consistent. She's been my gal for decades.
Yeah. And then same thing when it comes to side quests or B plot elements. What happens to be your favorite one of those, whether they're from an RPG, a movie, film, television, literature, etc. And why is this side quest, this B plot element your favorite?
Again, I just went with my gut. And the first thing that came to mind, maybe because I was already on a Super Mario's kick, was just going down every tunnel to see where it would go. That was like really what came to mind, was the joy in finding that room where you were collecting extra coins or whatever it was.
Mm.
It's so simple, but I feel like that was like a first memory of the element of like going on a scavenger hunt other than
Okay.
just looking for the enemy at the end of the
I
level.
relate to this. I'm a completionist in video games as well, and it drives my husband crazy when we try to play video games together. I'm like, but what's around this corner? Oh, what's in that barrel? Like, he's like, just move forward with the plot.
Precisely.
Yeah. I think I have more of just a generic answer to this as I think about like all my fantasy fandoms. You know, there's been a lot of talk recently about like what really is fantasy versus romantasy. And a lot of times it's like, is a female the author or is a male the author? I don't love fantasy books where romance is the main thing, but I love fantasy books where there's a cause and a quest of a sort in general that's the main thing, but there's a B plot of a romance that's
Mm.
developing in the background, and it just feels so much more real to me, where like there's real weights and responsibilities and concerns and things that these people are dealing with, and then like kind of in the background they're like developing this relationship and figuring out how that can fit in while still, you know, prioritizing the main task at hand, especially when they're dealing with these traumatic life situations that they're
Mhm.
going through. So any kind of like minor romance going on.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah, yeah. We like a little smoochy in the midst of the war and all that going
Yeah.
on. Perfect. And then the way that we round out the personal interview section, Raenelle and Allison, whether it's a new passion or hobby in your life or whether it's one that you've stuck with, what are you passionate about and why?
You know, I just like creating community and spaces where people can be present with one another. That feels to have stayed true from being a young person until now. I'm very extroverted and I love fostering connection. I love bringing people together, and I just believe we have so much to learn from each other, and the ability to share with one another the complexity of all our humanity, from joy to grief, prevents us from objectifying each other in a way that can cause harm and be dismissive of one another. But that's harder to do when we're actually spending time with each other and getting to know each other. So I've been able to do that in all my different jobs and in all my like hobbies and casual things, has been able to do it with others. And I think that's a real gift, including D&D.
That's beautiful. I think one thing I'm passionate about that does relate to D&D, but more overarching, is just stories. Kind of like now raising my kids, you kind of reflect on your whole life and what your childhood was like. And I think stories have always been huge to me, not just in like following the plot, but as an expression of like telling truths about things that are larger, about our real world, but telling it in a way that you can more easily swallow and understand in these other worlds. And I think allowing you to see other people's perspectives and build empathy with people who have had different life experiences, people who have different perspectives. And I love nothing more than a story where there kind of is no villain, because like you kind of see like everybody's trying to do what they think is right in the moment with the different things that they know and have experienced. I think that's just fascinating and tells a lot of truths about humanity.
Indeed. Beautiful answers. And keep this going here on the podcast. Let's go ahead and cruise into some NPC creation. And NPC creation is brought to you by you, the podcast audience, and our patrons from Patreon. So now's the time in the show where we give a shout out and a loud hurrah to our comfortable patrons and above. Hurrah, you guys. So thank you to Ansa Jablinski and good old mom and dad. We give you a hearty cheers. So again, just for $2 a month, you get a shout out on all of our episodes. And all these folks I named are actually wealthy tier patrons, which means they get to introduce an element of chance to the random tables that we have, and we might get to hear some of the responses used today. So if you want to learn more about the Patreon and all the ways you can support the podcast, I would encourage you to go to the show notes below, go to the podcast website, or just go directly to patreon.com/sidekicks and sidequests and learn about all the accommodations we have awaiting for you. Help us to grow and expand our operations in the levitating platter in this demi-plane and worlds beyond. All right, so this is obviously the part of the show where we get to make up a character, an NPC. And I know the last time when Allison and Ryan were here, I incorrectly called it kaijuing. It's actually jaeger in the analogy with Pacific Rim, where the two of them together work to make a single character. So are we doing that again today, where both Allison and Raenelle are combining their minds and making one character, or do you want to make a pair of characters today?
I'm Allison. I'm game for either version.
I thought it was fun to make one together, so we can go for that.
Okay, so you want to make one together. Okay. So then this will be just, I guess, a series of dice rolls being traded back and forth then. And we will come up with someone completely random, truly. So, okay. Well, the very first way that we begin with this is we roll for a name. We roll a d20 and see what name we get. So whoever would like to start can go ahead and roll us a d20.
Oh, I didn't bring dice.
Oh, that's okay. Whether
I'll roll
you're
it.
virtual or otherwise, or if we just want to let one person handle all the dice rolling, makes no mind to me.
Allison,
I got an 8.
you can be a dice roller.
Okay.
Woohoo!
All right. Let's see. Oh, I didn't realize I didn't change this one out, but okay. So we're changing that one out. All right. So your answer today was provided to us by Andrew Kolb, and the name we have is Bernard. So very similar to a certain duck character that we had on
Bernard.
the Kids Table podcast D&D, but legally distinct, I might say, because we don't know. If we get an
Maybe he's the
animal, then
namesake
it'll just be us expanding upon Bernard as an NPC. This will be great. But
I love it.
let's see. So we know the name Bernard. The next one is the ancestry, the species, the background of the character. So this we roll 2d10s for a d100 effect.
All right. Well, for some reason I only have one, so we'll do it twice.
Okay.
36.
36. Oh, okay. Interesting. So Bernard is a troll. He could be any kind of troll that can be found in D&D, but Bernard is a troll. I know Raenelle is having a grand time. Do you already have an image of your mind of like what kind of troll that we're thinking of?
No, not. I'm laughing because I had also started to dream of a character, and Bernard is now the opposite of the character. It's making me giggle.
Okay. All right. So Bernard is a troll, any kind, and I know that D&D lists numerous different kinds of trolls, but okay. So let's see. Now the job or role in society. So the occupation that our Bernard's going to have, you could go ahead and roll just a regular D10, and we can see what their job is.
Okay. 6.
6. Oh, okay. This one comes from our previous guest, Mandy Greeny. So Bernard, the troll, is a knocker upper. someone who wakes people up in the morning. So if you've ever seen the image of like the lady with like, it looks like a blow tube gun and she's like shooting pebbles or something at people's windows. So Bernard's job, wherever he lives, he's supposed to wake people up in the morning since they don't have alarm clocks. Naturally, he's the one that goes around and will wake people up in the morning.
Yeah, and he has to uncover the mystery of why all the roosters in the town have disappeared.
Ooh, okay. Well, that's jumping ahead, but if you want to lock that one in as the quest, we'll see. But okay, so knocker upper. All right. And the age range of the category to figure out like roughly an idea of how old Bernard is. You can roll a D8 and tell us how old Bernard is.
2?
Okay, a teenager. So we have a teenage troll named Bernard who's a knocker upper. So with these details in mind, with Raenelle and Allison working together, can you describe the physical appearance of this troll knocker upper by the name of Bernard? This is where you get to be creative.
So, Allison, I'm thinking either a quick. I'm thinking of someone faster on their feet. So, like a smaller troll, because I know they range in size. So we have
Okay.
maybe a tree troll who can quickly run around and takes their job very seriously, dashing about to
I love that.
throw the rocks, the pebbles, shoot the pebbles at each people's windows. So maybe a tree troll who's smaller.
I love that. And I was thinking that it was reminding me of the arcade game Paperboy.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
it was called. So, I mean, I don't know how strict we are with our high fantasy, but I was thinking he might have like a bicycle or some other kind of vehicle, or like a mule or something. I don't know.
Ooh,
Are
okay.
we strict on fantasy?
I mean, it is as specific as you would like it to be. I mean, both of you are the authoritative authors on Bernard the Troll Knocker Upper. So it's up to you to tell us what's canon and what's not.
You want to give him a mule that he rides for his little route?
I think so. Why not?
Perfect. And he rides by and he shoots his little spitwad thing. What did you call it?
It's a great question just for the edification of our audience. Let's see if I can Google this real quick. Knocker upper.
I guess it's like a dart, like a
dart gun, like a
blowgun.
Blowgun, yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yes. They used a baton or short, heavy stick to knock on clients' windows, or a long and light stick, often made of bamboo, to reach windows or on higher floors. One famous photograph shot in 1931 by John Topham shows Mary Smith in East London using a pea shooter. In return for the task, the knocker upper would be paid a few pence each week. So there you go. So yeah, if you want to imagine he has like a little pea shooter riding around on the donkey, just like shooting people's windows.
Well, I love it.
And I imagine that his steed, his mule, does a customary hee-haw after every,
donkeys are loud for sure. Yeah.
He supports his tree troll, but he supports Bernard by creating a sound after each successful hit of pea dart.
What a lovely way to wake up in the morning. The sound of a pebble on your window and a loud hee-haw as Bernard thunders by.
Gallops through the town. Yep. Okay. Well, yeah, I guess regardless of whether or not you paid for Bernard's services, you're getting up anyway, because I don't know if you could go back to sleep if there's just a donkey braying through the streets while you're trying to sleep.
Oh, Bernard can't be bothered to figure out who paid or didn't pay.
Okay.
He takes pride in his work.
Oh, okay.
For sure, yeah. And then I don't know, does he have a particular name for the donkey or anything like that, do you think?
That made me think of Shrek, and I just was like, donkey.
I mean, if he just calls the donkey, that's fine.
But does a name?
Or does he name the donkey Shrek? That would be kind of funny.
That is kind of funny. Shrek the donkey.
Shrek the donkey. I can go with that.
Okay. All right.
So it's a donkey now, not a mule. Hopefully he's a very small tree troll.
I mean, especially if he's a teenage one. I mean, I would have to imagine that, not so big, trying to pull up the the Forgotten Realms wiki here, tree
Just
trolls.
establishing that there's no animal abuse happening here.
Oh
The
yeah, of
the
course. No.
steed can carry this.
I mean, technically, tree trolls are a third edition monster that on average are about 3 feet tall. So
Oh,
even as
okay, okay.
even as a teenage one would still be probably fairly short, but a donkey would probably be a good sized steed for him in that regard.
Okay, perfect.
All right. And then again, as we're getting the description of the character, does he have to wear like any kind of uniform or he just wears what he has and just does this job and that's him. That's his life.
I think he wears a newsboy cap and some kind of vest with pockets for the gravel, or I guess it would be gravel that he would be
Yeah.
shooting, or yeah.
Okay. Newsboy hat, little vest, and he's just like his little troll self riding on a donkey. All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he definitely has like kind of the emo shag that, the teenagers have.
Classic. And then if we had to describe Bernard with 3 adjectives, what 3 adjectives would you use?
You said he takes his job seriously,
Yes.
so like responsible or driven? What are you thinking?
Something about determination, like or integrity, something with integrity. It's like determined. Or what?
Okay, so he's determined.
Is he boisterous?
I think so.
Yeah.
All right, determined, boisterous, and then what's the third one?
He's a teenager, so I think hungry.
Okay. So determined, boisterous, and hungry. Okay. And all right, all right. So that gives us a little more idea. And now's the part where I say, and now we get to go back to some dice rolling. Because we want all of our NPCs to have something cool on their person. So what's going to be a valuable item, piece of lore, secret, or ideal or concept that Bernard would care about? This is the combo roll where we do a D4 for the category and then the D6 for the particular thing.
Okay. D4 is a 4.
Okay.
D6 is a 2.
Okay. All right. So this answer was provided to us by John M. Rodriguez. And this ideal or concept that Bernard cares about, always looking your best. So like that's what kind of like guides his life at this point. So how does that translate into his being a knocker upper person?
I think his uniform is always on point. In fact, I feel like every day he changes his vest. His vest with pockets.
He has
Oh,
his
so he
vest
has
for
like a
every day.
rotation of
It's
vests.
a rotation of vests.
And he like maybe like in the inside the pocket is sewn like the initial for the day of the week.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, his cap, he might have like a series of outfits. The cap matches the vest and
Matching.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the blue cap and vest and the green cap and
Yeah.
vest. Yeah.
and then he has seasonal.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
He has seasonal ones.
Okay.
When it's a festival, a certain festival he dresses accordingly.
Okay. And we're imagining him to live like in a small hamlet or like a major city because it's like even, putting aside the fact that like, oh, troll trees are a thing from third edition and most people now are playing like 5 or 5.5. But, you know, is this like in a Feywild community? Is this in like the mundane world? I'm just kind of curious how kind of like when we did the episode with our earth elemental kiddo, it was like how
Finnegan?
does this creature exist in this world? Like where would we find him? I'm just kind of wondering in the background.
Oh, Allison, did you have a thought? You making us?
Oh, it's okay. I pictured him in like kind of a medium-sized hamlet. It's not like farms where it would take forever to get from one house to the next. Like there's like kind of a town center, but it's not so many people that he can't go around and wake up everybody in the houses in a fairly reasonable amount of time.
Mm,
Let's say there's like 200 people in the village.
okay.
But I feel like he aspires one day to broaden his
Ooh,
horizon.
to be a big city knocker
Be a
upper.
big city
Move up.
Yeah.
Mm. I was gonna say, kind of appreciating the fairy tale quality esque to him. I was like, oh, is he related to the trolls that maybe mine the bridge nearby? And so like, hey, you're not old enough to mine the bridge, but you could go bother everyone in town by being a knocker upper sort of a thing.
Yeah, I feel like that tracks.
Yeah. And because he has to be around people more, maybe that's where his always looking your best thing comes into play, where he's like, oh, the money I get, I spend it on these hats and these vests so I can always look my best while I'm doing my job, sort of a thing. Okay. All right. And then, of course, we want all of our NPCs to have bright gold exclamation points over their head. So, what's going to be the side quest that Bernard's going to come to a bunch of player characters to help him out with? I know Allison kind of ad libbed a suggestion that you could totally go with, or if you want to randomize the quest and roll the last dice, that would be a D12. Or you can mix and match, up to you.
Well, maybe we can roll it because I'm thinking maybe the roosters have mysteriously disappeared, but then Bernard wouldn't want to know where they went because they might replace him.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe Bernard is the reason why they disappeared. Job
That's a little
security.
mysterious. Yeah. Or just hungry.
Or just hungry, never know.
Let's do a D12. 7.
Okay. Well, this one's also from Mandy Greenie. This one says, go kill 100 lizards for a special light armor. So do you think that Bernard is in possession of some special light armor that he's willing to give the players if they go and kill 100 lizards for him?
Maybe the lizards. I know chickens will eat lizards sometimes, right? So maybe he needs the lizards to feed all the roosters that he's captured.
Or, I mean, you could go with that, or if you want to try rolling again, I know there's some other good suggestions in this list. It's up to you, or you can just kind of roll with it and make it your own.
What do you think, Raenelle? Roll again?
Well, so before we decided to roll and we were talking about secret lore, I did think of a version where he secretly has possessed some type of enchanted item that allows him to put people back to sleep so that he can wake them up again because he earns per person.
Mm.
Okay, I love it.
And that's how seriously he takes his job. But perhaps the lizards are part of the way in which he keeps this particular amulet or whatever he has charmed. There's something to do with the lizards that he needs it to do that.
Sure.
Okay. So based on how Mandy worded this, go kill 100 lizards for a special light armor. So it sounds like he's straight up willing to grant the player characters a special light armor if they give him 100 lizards. So kind of like a very Zelda sort of a thing, like, hey, go hunt down 100 lizards and then bring me back their carcasses, and then you'll get this light armor.
Yes.
Okay, and then whatever he does with the lizards, whether he's hungry or he's using them as feed or whatever he's doing, he just wants 100 lizards. And then is there any particular special quality to the armor he's offering? Is it magical? Does it do something, or what do you think?
I mean, he is a tree troll, so I wonder if there's some magic quality to the armor. Allison, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's definitely like a bark-like armor. And maybe this armor prevents sleep spells from being cast on you.
Maybe resistant to charm effects
Yeah,
or being put to sleep. Sure. Oh, okay.
Because he's so aware of sleep.
Yeah.
Sleep hazards that are around him.
Oh, maybe this is, if he takes his job seriously, is it armor that he confiscated off of someone maybe that was like getting out of paying him? So he confiscated the armor and was like, oh, hey, if you just give me these lizards, I'll just give you this armor that I was otherwise going to bury or hide or, throw away or something.
Yeah, take it to another village.
Okay. All right. So it seems like it's a pretty straightforward side quest. So of course we like to kind of give our goalposts. So if the players, whatever kind of lizards he specifies that he wants them to go kill, hopefully not anything like, some dungeon master is like cruel and is like, oh, a lizard. So you mean a dragon. So you have to go kill 100 dragons or something like that just for this light armor. But however many lizards, they go through, they do the quest, they come back to Bernard and they present all the lizards to him. It sounds like, straightforward reward that they're just going to get this light armor that is resistant to charms and prevents you from falling asleep. I mean, or does he offer something else up?
No, I think there's been a series of tree trolls who have been putting people to sleep, and so it's quite the item to have. And so they're excited about this armor.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think he does want since he's a hungry teenager, I think he does want the lizards just for a snack.
Fair enough. Okay. So he's just going to be really happy that he has all this snack food to eat. And then he gets rid of this armor that's been causing him problems for his knocker upper business. And life goes on with the town then.
Yep.
Okay. And then the opposite, what's going to be the consequence of failure or refusing the call to the adventure? So if Bernard's gone out of his way to ask for this help and the players say, no, we're not going to go hunt for all these lizards, or we're not interested in the armor, or whatever it may be. What's the consequence of failure or refusing the call to the adventure?
They're going to be affected by the sleep spell, and they're going to have to pay him to be woken up.
Oh, are you saying like a sleep spell just pervades over the town?
You said like a potion, like I was picturing like some kind of a fog. Just kind of like when you hit snooze a couple times, right? Like it doesn't just take one time for people to be woken up.
Oh, so now I'm just wondering if there's a greater conspiracy now, because now there's like the trolls are in on why all the people in the town are
Definitely
asleep.
a family business. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, so then they'll just be affected by it, and then they'll have to require, unless they're an elf, but otherwise they'll have to require the services of Bernard and his family, question mark, in order to be able to be woken up at a timely manner each day.
Yes, uh it's like a tax of sorts that we're saying.
It's just like the trolls guarding the bridge.
Yeah.
It's an iteration of that.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So now I'm just curious, like if that town has any nicknames or people have stories where they're like, oh, don't go to that town unless you plan on paying the trolls, money every day to be able to wake up. It's like a nice town, but otherwise everyone just sleeps in all the time and nothing ever gets done.
Do you know how good sleep is for your health? Like people are living longer. Their illnesses are magically going away. People are happy. They're getting along. It's actually great.
Interesting. Okay. So if the players stay in this town, then they're going to be under the effects of the town with going to sleep all the time or not being able to wake up unless they decide to pay Bernard. But if they complete the side quest, then they'll get this armor that will at least prevent one or all or some of them from at least not experiencing the effects of this town-wide sleep effect.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay, so just kind of like a real low stakes sort of a thing, unless some party takes it as a personal offense to them that, that they're all having to fall asleep and, wake up and pay for it. Yeah. So dungeon masters can take that how they will, but it just seems like little low stakes, harmless fun, I guess.
It's definitely like an early level quest.
Early level quest or something in the Feywild. I could definitely believe this would be something in the Feywild too.
Mm-hmm.
So then all the elves in the town are just like, oh, we just only have to transfer 4 hours and we're fine. And we don't have to worry about paying the trolls money or whatever.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, it sounds like then that we've covered all of our bases with Bernard. And if y'all are ready, I guess we can head into the next section. Are we ready?
Ready.
All right, then let's do it. Let's throw Bernard into a random encounter. This random encounter is brought to you by my sponsor, Zencastr. How do I use Zencastr? Well, that's the service that I'm using right now to be able to record my episodes of the podcast. It's what allows me to capture it all, put it into my editing machines on my new computer to get it processed and put forth onto the interwebs and podcast land for you all to enjoy. I was able to take part of this service, all thanks to my buddies Benjamin Huffman and Dane Fox McGraw over at the Dispel Magic podcast. And if you were at this time in your life wondering what can I be doing, what sort of hobbies or things that I could be branching out to, well, I'm here to talk to you today about Zencastr. It's so easy. It's now super easy to record a podcast with Zencastr. Log in using your browser and start recording a high quality podcast right away. Record studio quality sound and up to 4K video with your guests. Feel a sense of zen. Knowing Zencastr's multi-layered backups ensure you always have your recordings in the highest quality, even if the connection is unstable. You can sound your best. Have you ever wondered what you might sound like? Well, Zencastr's post-production process makes you sound buttery smooth. It automatically works to remove those filler words in your recordings, and it makes those awkward pauses in conversation dip out as well. You can set the right podcast loudness and levels while reducing background noise with a click of a button. It's all in one, so if you've thought about podcasting before and realize that you need a lot of different tools and services these days in order to do a podcast, well, I can assure you that those days are done. With Zencastr's all-in-one podcasting platform, you can create your podcast all in one place and distribute it to Spotify, Apple, and other major destinations. Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use my code SIDEKQPodcast, and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. I want you to have the same easy experiences I do for all my podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story. Again, go to zencastr.com/pricing, use my code SIDEKQPodcast, get that 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. Thank you so much for listening to this ad and for supporting the sponsor. It helps to support the show. And without further ado, on with the podcast. All right, so now we're here in the section of the show where we get to do a role play, a vignette, a scene with the character we've made here today. And I know that this kind of happened last time, where it was like, oh, Ryan became the voice of the horse while Allison controlled, the voice of our elemental farrier. So this time around, I don't know. Do we have one
I'll be the
who's
donkey.
being the
I'll be
donkey and
Shrek.
one who's being a Bernard? And then what scene are we going to find them in so then I can find a role to play in the scene?
Well, maybe this is like a prequel that's the roosters disappearing.
Okay, you want to do a scene where all the roosters are starting to disappear and they need someone to be able to like wake them all up in the town because everyone's just sleeping longer and longer. Okay. So then to make sure we establish all the roles then for this scene, who's going to be who?
So I think Allison declared herself as Shrek. So I am Bernard.
Okay, and then am I going to be a townsperson or a potential customer for this, requiring Bernard's services, or what do you think?
I guess a potential customer.
A potential customer.
Oh, potential customer. Okay, I can do that. Okay. All right. And then who would you like to set the scene? Would you all care to set the scene or shall I set the scene?
Go for it.
I like being surprised.
So we are here in our sleepy hamlet, the medium-sized settlement, 200 people. It's a good, fair-sized community. And, our farmer, John, John Farmer, good, strong man, good, strong name, is just noticing that, like, he just has been getting, slower to wake up in the day. And his rooster is just, has been getting slower and quieter, not really waking up as much. He's just not quite understanding. And, he is checking in on the chickens and seeing how they're doing and all that stuff. And it's not too long before he starts hearing some commotion as he hears someone coming up the road alongside his fences and such for this small sort of in town farm that he's running. And so John turns his head to look. And what is it that he's seeing?
In the commotion?
Oh yes, in the commotion. Yes, he's who is he seeing? What is he seeing? What is going on? Now that ain't a scene you see every day. What is this business going on? As John points over and he sees like this tree troll teenage one in this hat and vest and riding on this donkey. He's like, I don't. Who are you? Are you related to them trolls from the bridge beyond the ways?
I'm here to offer my services. I've heard a rumor that the roosters have not been doing their job quite as well lately, and I am here, luckily, to provide my service of waking you up each day for a small fee.
Oh. And you do see John has the rooster kind of in his arms and he's like cuddling him and trying to like give him, some attention and love as to like, well, he's just my rooster is just he's even fallen asleep through his job. I don't quite understand what's going on with the lad. And John looks at Shrek for a second because maybe he can see Shrek's eyes are looking into his soul. And so I don't know how does the donkey respond to this moment of their eyes locking?
Yeah.
Quite a loud beast. A fee? Well, I'm not made of money. What sort of fee are you talking about?
Well, I will say it is peculiar, and we don't know how long this will last. But you can't have your farming business slow down as well as and be stunted by your rooster's failure to wake you up each day. So isn't your time worth it to you to have me wake you up each day?
Oh, well, my poor lad. Oh, and he's like trying to pat him awake, and the rooster's just still like the rooster's alive. He's just like really sleepy. He's just like, I don't. Oh, how much are you asking for?
Uh, you know, you you offer me what you think might be fair.
Every day? I mean, I suppose. uh, Is a copper piece good for you?
Make it two, and we can strike a deal.
He's looking between the rooster in his arms, the chickens all about, and the rest of all his farm work that he has to do. But he really wants to make sure he always has a good start on his day. So he fishes in his pockets and he manages to pull out two copper pieces. He's like, "All right, fine, you got a deal. Two copper pieces."
Well, I do appreciate your business, and rumor has it you're not the only one. So I'd appreciate recommendation. In fact, here's what I'll say. I'll do the first 3 days for free. And if you're not happy with my services, I will pay you 6 copper. But if you are happy with my services, I think you should agree with me now that you will tell at least 3 of your friends to procure my services as well.
All right, all right. You got a deal. You got a deal. And he'll stick his hand out for a handshake.
I I I accept a handshake, and I say, to really seal the deal though, you must give something to my dear companion Shrek.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay. And so like he'll still with the rooster in his arms, he'll walk off and maybe he has like an extra bag of oats or something like that. So he'll come over and he'll be like, I hope he likes oats. I got more than enough of that, I suppose. So here you go, oats.
Shrek nods approvingly and paws at the ground.
And in return, I'd love to give your rooster a treat.
Oh, you have a treat from?
Yes, and so out of a little satchel, one of my pockets in my vest, I pull out something that the the farmer's never quite seen. He tends to hesitate, but I hand it to him and slip it into the rooster's mouth, and ever so slightly smile, a little bit of a Mona Lisa smile. And then I draw my hand back and I say, I'll see you in the morning.
All right, all right. And so John Farmer continues to, pat the rooster. Does the treat do anything to like return the rooster to normal or just keeps the rooster continually sedated?
Oddly enough, the rooster seems to fall into a deeper sleep.
Ah, he's just like, oh, I better go get this rooster lad sorted out, raise a new one. Okay, well, thank you very much. I don't know if I caught your name, sir.
Oh, that is Bernard at your service.
Bernard, right. Yes. Well, farm work begins early, so I guess I'd appreciate the waking up, early before the sun. And you and your steed there take care, I suppose.
Oh, you won't be disappointed. Thank you so much for your business.
And then as John Farmer goes back to tend to his rooster that's now even falling deeper into sleep and just concerned for the well-being of his rooster, what is the scene going to close with as Bernard and Shrek sort of have a moment to themselves before they find their next customer?
I feel like there's a moment of endearment that happens between me and my steed. I nuzzle his nose a little bit, and I say, I whisper, "Good job, Shrek. We'll have more. We'll have 10 more customers by the end of the day."
He gives him a little playful nip on the hair, and then it's kind of like almost gelled out to the side after.
And scene. So there we go. We did it with Bernard the Knocker Upper and his trusty steed Shrek. So
I love him. He's a wheeler and dealer.
I know, yeah, some last minute things we're discovering about the character for sure.
I had been thinking that the potion that the tree trolls are like clouding around the city was putting the chickens to sleep, but you directly feeding him the treat was not what I expected.
I feel like the tree trolls are resourceful, and they have multiple ways
Mm,
furthering
multiple vectors.
To ensure their business thrives.
make sure their business thrives.
Wow, okay. Yeah, so yeah, a whole family of tree trolls in the area, and Bernard's the one who's making the most money off of them. Albeit in small amounts, but two copper pieces each for each day. I mean, that'll add up pretty quick in a town of
Times
200.
200 people. Yeah,
Yeah, 20
pretty
gold.
good.
Yeah,
Not bad.
yeah, pretty good. Certainly rich enough for trolls, that's for sure. But yeah, now we're here in the final thoughts section of the show. So, of course, we always like to check in with the guests and see how their time was on the podcast.
I had a
This was very fun.
This was very
Yeah.
fun. I'll say, especially with Allison being far, far away, we miss her very much, and so these are kind of just as selfishly like an extra moment for us to get to spend time together. And then again, it's just so fun to practice this collaborative storytelling with others. And so, it's just wonderful to meet you, Kurt, and to do things like this where you're tapping into creativity that you wouldn't necessarily do elsewhere in an evening, with kids and all the other things, but to carve out time for this is really, I think, special.
Indeed. And I know I won't be, so crude as to beg or cajole for another inclusion of one of our humble NPCs into the Kids Table D&D. But I remember, Finnegan the Brave, like, oh yeah, Finnegan the Brave will show up. We'll see. But it's like, I don't know, maybe Bernard, the trollish knocker upper might definitely be, the right kind of speed for a low level mystery for a bunch of kids to figure out, well, why are the roosters all asleep all the time? And why are the trolls, having to wake people up every morning on a loud, noisy donkey and stuff?
You
I love it.
No.
But definitely before we let you go and round out the episode for sure, we always want to leave the stage, the soapbox and the microphone and the platform to you, the guests, because I know the reason why we're doing this episode ultimately is because you've got a Kickstarter that you're fundraising and putting together. So we want to give you that platform now here to tell us all about it and where can we go to sponsor it and help you guys out, and then just in general with the Kids Table, where we can find y'all and where we can support y'all, and if you as individuals want to be found online and such, let us know. This is your time to shine and plug the plugs that you got to plug.
Amazing. Well, thank you. Yeah, we are doing our very first Kickstarter. We're very excited about it. This is kind of a little bit of a different branch of the Kids Table. We have the show, but then we also have adventures that you can take home to play at your own table with the kids at your table. So for a long time, we've been having parents and educators and aunts and uncles and other family members saying, like, hey, my kid really wants to play D&D, but I looked at the size of the rule book and I'm super overwhelmed. It's way too complicated for me to learn how to DM for my kid. I don't know how to get started. So what we did is we wrote a learn as you play family starter set that you just jump right into the adventure. You don't have to read through the rules first. Although if you are somebody who likes knowing all the rules first, I did write a uber condensed version of the 5e rules that's included in the game. But you just jump right into the adventure, and the rules are introduced to you one at a time as it becomes relevant to the story. So this could be picked up by DMs and players that nobody has ever played before. And as you play through the 5 chapters in the story, you will learn the basics of 5e in the process, and hopefully get everybody hooked on a love of collaborative storytelling. I also think that the storyline that Ryan has written is brilliant in his classic writer fashion. We're calling it a story that has the depth of Lord of the Rings with the playfulness of Zootopia. There are a lot of dangerously adorable critters that you will meet along the way, some mysteries to uncover, and puzzles to solve. We've used the classic kids table example in every chapter. You get a little bit of something for everyone because different people like to play differently. So there's some role play, there's some puzzle solving, and there's some battles in each and every chapter. So there's a little something for everyone. And it's conveniently broken down into 20-minute segments, 3 segments in each chapter. So you will end up with potentially 15 sessions that you can play if your kiddos have a little bit of a shorter attention span, or you can link them together and play a little bit longer at a time. So we are publishing this starter set that's called The Adventure Guide Secrets of Enderil in partnership with our publisher Emberglow Gaming. And it is going to be launched on Kickstarter June 16th, 2026 and through mid-July. But if you are listening to this podcast before or after that date, you can also find it on the evergreen site, theadventureguide.emberglowgaming.com. And that will always guide you to where you can find the product, no matter where in time you're existing right now.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
And then Raenelle, if there's anything you got to plug, or just remind us again for the audience out there, where are the best places for us to tune in to the Kids Table D&D adventure to hear you and the kids, champion for Miyazumiane and all the other misfit adventures you all have.
We have our Kids Table YouTube D&D YouTube channel, as well as we're on Instagram and Facebook. And we do actually have a website that, if for those who want to navigate our resources that way. But I would say from our link, our link tree is on our, you can see that pretty easily on our Instagram. And, for those who just want little snippets, the reels are great, but I would just encourage everyone to check out the full episodes for to really dive into the story. And I think that I would just encourage those who are wanting their children to see that to watch it together. I think there's something about just getting inspired by another family playing. That's something that says, hey, we can do that too. And so that's really my hope, is that you would check out our channel and just know that I was just a mom with my kid 4 years ago that was like, what? And I just went in with an open heart and open mind. And I just really want that for other families.
Awesome. Well, Allison, Raenelle, thank you so much for being new and returning guests to the show and the podcast. And, it was a great time to have with you. And I can't wait to have you back on making even more interesting NPCs.
Thanks for having us. We'd love to come back anytime.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Sidekicks and Side Quests. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast through Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, Amazon Music, Overcast, or YouTube, or feel free to save the RSS feed to use the app or player of your choice. Visit our website, sidekicksandsidequests.com, for links, write-ups of the NPCs, and to learn more about the show and the guests who have been on it. To stay up to date and interact via social media, you can follow the podcast on Facebook, Instagram/Threads, Twitter/X, and Reddit by searching for Side KQ Podcast. You can also find our small Discord community as well online. I would love to talk D&D and showcase your fan art, stories of how you used our NPCs, discussions, and commentary. And hey, if you'd like to hail the bard and send me a message, an email, you can do so by communicating with sidekicksandsidequests@gmail.com. To help this show be the resource it's meant to be, I ask that you leave a review on iTunes, 5 stars please, to help spread the word and share our podcast with your friends and family. Whether you're a veteran player or an aspiring dungeon master, there's something here for everyone, and I want to hear about it. As mentioned in the NPC creations section of the podcast, I do in fact have a Patreon for Sidekicks and Sidequests. If you love this podcast and what we're trying to do here, I would appreciate it if you would just go to the website, patreon.com/sidekicks and sidequests. No matter your lifestyle expenses, we have wonderful rewards at every level of Patreon membership tier. Modest, comfortable, wealthy, and aristocratic accommodations await, and we welcome all patrons to the levitating platter. Seriously, your financial support allows for this passion project to continue to invest in itself through the tools that will take our production to the next level, as well as provide more content for our patrons and the community at large. Please consider supporting me on Patreon if you can.
Sidekicks and Sidequests is unofficial fan content permitted under the fan content policy.
Meaning I'm not approved or endorsed by Wizards.
Portions of the materials used are property of Wizards of the Coast.
Copyright Wizards of the Coast,
LLC.
Thank you for your support, and I'll see you at the pub next time.
Bar to rock on 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sidekicks and Sidequests. Sidekicks and Sidequests. Sidequests. Sidequests, Sidequests. Sidekicks, Sidequests. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Step into the kingdom of Abalium and begin your family's first great Dungeons & Dragons adventure. Become great heroes, explore forgotten ruins, uncover ancient mysteries, meet strange and lovable creatures, and battle fearsome monsters. Secrets of Enderil is a learn-as-you-go RPG created for parents, kids, and curious first-time players who want to create a shared storytelling experience. The adventure unfolds naturally as you play, with only a few pages of reading to get you started. Even new players and game masters can easily focus on roleplay, curiosity, and exploration, instead of getting lost in endless rules. We'll introduce you to core game mechanics organically through the adventure itself, so you never lose your immersion in the story. Your players will take on exciting challenges and learn about making meaningful choices with real stakes. We've carefully balanced this with a fail-forward style of play that rewards creativity instead of punishing mistakes or unlucky rolls. And by the time your first adventure comes to an end, it feels like the beginning of many more stories still waiting to be told. Together. Gather your party. Your story starts now. The Adventure Guide. Secrets of Enderil.